an entire culture around make yourself better. But the successful people in this firm, you've grown your firms to a size that it no longer is about you being stronger. It's about how you can make 5 people or 10 people stronger. Think of it this way. If you put in another 100 hours of work, that's only worth so much. Even if you charge $500, $800, $1,000 an hour, it's only worth so much to your firm. If you can make 5 people better, that's 10,000 hours you have. 100 hours, 10,000 hours. Once people start getting that, the entire operation starts to change. Also consider the narrative that we play in our head. The narrative we play always makes you the hero. So you're in the firm, you're the most technical person we've got. You could actually help someone else become as technical as you, but you say, you know, that's not efficient, that's not effective. I'll just take care of being the only person that knows this stuff. Because you're always the hero. It's your justification for never changing. That time when you decide, I'll just work 80 hours. These other people all go home at what, 10 o'clock at night? I'll stay and work longer. That is you making yourself into a hero. You always justify everything you do wrong by changing it so that you can make yourself be the one that's doing the right thing. Don't do that. 2 comments that we talk about a lot, which actually kind of summarize what I've been saying. The stronger the individual, the weaker the organization. So the stronger you are, I can't tell you how many times I've come into firms where we've sat there, could be a $7, $10 million firm, where there's truly still one person that does most of the rainmaking. And people say, you know something, when he or she retires, we're in trouble. We've never found that to be true. Never. Because that person was so good at it, we allowed all the other partners to not be business developers. And the fact is, all partners need to be business developers. All partners need to be business developers.
Amen, brother.
There we go. And managers need to be starting their network. Not because it's going to pay off today, but so that when their 50-year-olds and 40-year-olds get to be 55 and 60, their network will be decision makers. You just don't go out and wave your hand and say, come do business with me. You've got to start your network to where the people that you know and work with build into decision-making positions. So we justify this and say, okay, we got one business developer. Well, what you find out very quickly, and I think of one situation in particular, I was told that if this partner retired, they'd have to merge because there's no way they could remain a firm. Within 3 years, they were asking that partner to leave. Because you also tend to find the rainmakers, the big rainmakers. Now, I'm going to get in trouble for this one, but it's common because I get in trouble with you guys all the time. The big rainmakers, when they're the only ones, they eventually start holding all the other partners hostage anyway. So I'm just saying to you, once they realize this isn't that hard, we can all do this, that started coming to a head and said, hey, not only do we not need you, but we just soon you go because we'll all make more money. If the only person you develop is yourself, you're of limited value to the organization. Why? Because the most I can get is a couple hundred more hours from you. But if you can make someone else better, faster, and stronger, we can get thousands of hours. Now, here's the lie that we tell our managers and our staff. Here's the lie that we tell them as partners. We say, hey, look, develop those people. Now, at the end of the year, when it comes to an evaluation, a raise time, the first thing we say is, looking at your charge hours, they seem a little off. And that manager looks at you, or that senior or supervisor says, yeah, they're a little down, but I had 4 new people, and look how much better they are. Yeah, you did a great job with them. And by the way, why are your charge hours off? Well, but you told me to spend more time developing these people. Yeah, I did. And we want you to develop those people. But you're missing my question. Why are your charge hours off? And then we reward them. You see, that's bad enough, because then we punish them for doing exactly what we wanted them to do. But then we make it worse, because they actually did make 4 of those people better. So as partners, we now just take direct access to them. They're actually good enough to use now. Rather than just total idiots, they're just partial idiots. So we can go out and work with them directly. So we not only punish them for doing the wrong thing, for the right thing, we then take away the resources they built for doing the right thing. We also have to consider this whole idea of generalist and specialist. If you're going to sell a new client, you're going to bring someone in. By the way, almost every new client you get comes from another CPA firm. The days of having a bunch of people not have CPAs at all are gone. So if it's about bringing in a client, they already have a CPA. So you got to be better than them in some way. That's why we have so many people marketing around the idea of specialist. Because at least now I've given that client a reason to switch. We specialize in your arena. Now, when you look under the covers of that firm, they're no more specialized than you are. Or you're no more specialized than they are. But they were smart enough to take what they did and encapsulate it into a story about why they know your business. Most firms look like a funnel. This basically says, and by the way, this doesn't mean this is how many people we have at each level. It means how do we load the work. We load the work from the top down. When we get new work, the first thing we do is say, what partner can do this work? Once we realize that there is no partner that has any time left, then we say, what manager can do the work? Now, why don't we pass it down to managers right from the beginning? Because our managers are stupid. All right, so, that was a little personal, wasn't it? Don't worry, it'll get worse. Now, the managers learn from us, and so they're sitting there with this new work, and they're saying, yeah, I don't have time to do it either, because the first thing they do is say, well, which one of us can do it? Why don't they pass it down? Well, because they've learned from us. They could pass it to a supervisor, but they can't because their supervisors are idiots. So then we finally have to pass it down because there's no way to get the work done, and the supervisor would have it, so why don't they hand it to staff? Same exact reason they've been trained by the best, because their staff are morons. So the whole system is based on nobody's as smart as me, and by the way, I'm going to do nothing to fix that. Our partners spend all their time doing manager work. Our managers spend all their time doing supervisor work. Our supervisors spend all their time doing senior work and all the way down. Over and over, no matter how good firms are, we find partners not doing partner-level work. Succession and profitability, we rarely find the main obstacle being the partners, but rather insufficient focus on leverage. How many people are getting involved? And here's a key statistic in leverage. And I'm telling you, I may calculate leverage different than all the rest of you. But here's the deal. If I run a $2 million book, and my time in that book is $500,000, I'm just making up numbers I can keep track of. And other partners in the firm, all of them, from junior partners to other partners, have another $500,000 in my book. That's a 2 leverage. Because it's all partner time against what I manage. You don't get leverage until a manager and staff is involved. Tying up partner time is the worst thing you can do. Tying up manager time is the second worst thing you can do. Leverage is created by passing work down. And the only way you can pass work down is if you make your people at the bottom better, faster, and stronger. As a leader, mistakes are a good investment, and plan on changing your plans. Here's the point. When I have a young staff member don't know anything, do you expect them to do it right? You better not, because they don't know anything. That's the first premise I gave you. They don't know anything. So you better be monitoring their work frequently. I remember one of my firms said, hey Bill, this intern program you had, it's a stupid idea because we did that, we hired a bunch of interns, it didn't work at all. I said, how? I said, well, for example, we gave this one intern 100 tax returns. You know what? They're all wrong. So what'd you find out? Well, after the 100th one, we checked. And do you know they made the same mistake on every single one? Yeah. That was good management on your part. I can tell you when we're in firms and we start talking about competency models, some of the managers feel kind of pressed on because we start talking about what it should take to be a partner. They say, but this is actually better than the partners actually are. If I actually met those requirements, I'd be better than our current partners. And the point is, yeah, we're not trying to build another set of you. We're trying to build better than you. That's how we get better. We need to understand that we need to be able to change roles depending on what our people need. It's not about them adapting to us, it's about us being able to adapt to them. It's one of the reasons why we spend so much time in our training and why we start out with situational leadership. It is teaching the idea that it's not about you, it's about the person you're developing. You need to be what they need at the point that they need it. Not they need to learn how to read you. Whatever you have, the success you have in this room is because of you. Your firm would not be successful without you. Whatever problems you have in your firm are equally because of you. You are unwilling to fix them. You can, but it takes a different approach than you may be taking.